Feeling overwhelmed? Searching for someone who truly gets it? At J. Branch and Associates, we provide mental health support for BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and others facing unique challenges. We understand the weight of generational trauma, the struggles of identity, and the pressures of being a part of an underestimated and overlooked group. At J. Branch and Associates, therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all. We create a safe, culturally aware space where you can feel seen, heard, and understood. Finding a therapist who truly fits you matters, and that's exactly what we're here for. Our team of highly trained licensed therapists bring compassion, empathy, and real-world experience to help you on your journey to healing and growth. We're committed to helping you become the best version of yourself. Ready to take the next step? Visit us at www.drjbranch.com for more information, or call or text 404-436-2540 to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. You can also book your first session today. Thank you for choosing J. Branch and Associates, therapists of color providing exceptional care to BIPOC communities, quality service, exceptional care from authentic professionals.
Three parallels. Yeah. Three parallels. Yeah. Three parallels.
Three Parallel Podcast. Come take this walk with me.
Welcome back. Listen, I got something for y'all today. All right, I got something for y'all. This is a special episode, probably one of the specialist episodes ever that could be, because as I mentioned, I love when I bring family on, and this is family, like real live family. But for the show, we're going to be friends. But for the real, we are family. And you've heard about this person for a while. You've heard about my uncle. You heard about Greg. You heard about this person who's been influential in my life and who helped me become this version of me, because he provided different things, perspectives, ideas that I didn't know anything about. And it's because of him that I'm able to be here, because we came through the mud together in different ways, different paths, but we experienced who we were. We experienced who we are. We're experiencing who we are becoming in real time. So I want to introduce you all to an amazing brother, not even an uncle. I mean, he a little uncle. Y'all know those little uncles when you're really close in age to your uncle. He's one of them little uncles. But we're around the same age, but he's been a brother. This brother is phenomenal. He's well educated. Bachelor's degree, University of West Alabama. Master's degree, not just a master's degree, an MBA from Arkansas University. And he decided, I'm going to join the military. So he was in the military, but as an officer after graduation, served his time, served his country, and decided, I think I could do more. And decided to step outside of his comfort zone and leave the military, the comfort of the military, to go back to go into corporate, to go into the public sector. Worked in the public sector in business, management, logistics, everything else in between, and kind of found his way and outgrew that space as well. And when he outgrew that space, he had to make a really tough decision, and he made it. And that decision was, I'm finna bet on me. And he bet on himself and decided to start a partnership with a Fortune 500 company, very big company. I don't know how much he's willing to share or not, so I ain't gonna put his business out there. But he decided to partner with this company to start his own company, and blew up. This guy is doing some amazing things, and he happens to be my brother. When I mentioned just maturity, humorous, culture, knowledge. Some people have a little knowledge about a lot. This brother got a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things. So I would love to introduce you all to my brother, Mr. Gregory Snow. Welcome to the show, baby.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Definitely. So, an honor to be here and experience for sure. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Listeners, I'm going to tell y'all now, I'm telling you right now, get your journal, get your Gator Scales journal, because he's going to be dropping gems. I'm telling you, this entire episode can possibly change your life if you're paying attention. Now, if you ain't paying attention, it's going to be fun and entertaining. But if you paying attention, your life is going to change. So let's dive in. Your story. What's your story? How did you get here? How did you go from, because we were in college together, University of West Alabama. How did you go from that version of you to this version who's running multiple companies, doing multiple things on his own, but got it through the mud, figured it out, learned a craft, learned an ability, learned a skill set, and you're out here doing it on your own, man. Tell us about it.
Well, I would say to simplify it, I wanted more. I wanted more out of life in terms of challenges. I wanted more financially, but I wanted more in terms of just being in a position where I could help and have a positive impact on people. So I wanted more, and just working somewhere. It was a good career, great experience, but it wasn't as fulfilling in those areas that I shared in terms of just wanting more. Again, just being in a position to help people in that regard. So I would say that's one, wanting more, and the other is not putting myself second to anyone. To mean, if I see that it's been done, then that means somebody did it.
Hmm.
So if someone did it, that means that I can do it,
Okay.
right? I don't have the mindset that I can't do it or it's not possible or you know what have you. I just don't operate in that space. So I would say to your question, how do I get here? It's really those two things: just wanting more and not putting myself second to to anyone, and then obviously with the blessings of God, that goes without being said for sure. But just I would say those three key items, if you will. When I look back at my journey and try to quickly summarize the how, to me, those are the drivers for me.
All right. All right. So I'm curious. You mentioned because this show is primarily for helping professionals, and you mentioned being able to help people. You want to help people. And it sounds like you may be helping people in a different way than a lot of traditional helping professionals like psychologists, psychiatrists, mental health professionals. So you're in business or business side and you're still able to help people. Could you tell us more about how you help or your desire to help?
Sure. So uh, at my alma mater, University of West Alabama, established a scholarship geared towards math majors, business majors, healthcare, and nursing majors. But and for those students that have a demonstrated financial need, that's a way that I wanted to help back at my alma mater and help deal again the students that have that demonstrated financial need, which is what certainly I had when I was in college. That's one way. Here in Columbus, I mentor several people. I've been able to see several actually go off and start their own business, and we are in contact today. And I just help and give suggestions and guidance where I can. I'm certainly not an expert in all fields, but I have banged my head against the wall a few times. So if I could share that knowledge with someone, and that'll allow them to go forward and to achieve their goals and position them to go forward in helping people and helping their families. That's certainly something for me that's very, very, very important. I spoke to various youth groups and things of that nature in the Columbus area, Columbus, Ohio, sorry, area, and just want to show, not to tie it to race too much, but I want to show that people, young men, women, but primarily young men, I would say, that look like me, that is certainly possible. So
Okay.
that's extremely important to me.
Okay. So where did this importance come from? Because a lot of people in your place or position, they don't make it about other people or they don't make it about helping. It's like, how much can I get? How much can I gain? And you on your own, but you have a totally different perspective. So where did that origin come from of this desire to help, especially black men or young people, men of color?
Sure. So growing up, it's from my perspective, it's what you see, right? If you can see something and it's within reach, it's obtainable, right? So growing up, um, I didn't see too much of that until I moved to Fort Walton Beach, Florida. and I was there with my sister, and she was a professional. She was a senior executive on the U.S. government side, and I seen that, and it was a great example for me. I seen her, her colleagues, friends, things of that nature, just being in that area, seeing that it was certainly possible. So for me, seeing that, that really helped with terms of how do I get there, but then also um, when I look at the financial side of things, and God bless those who make an ignorant amount of money. God bless them, but it's just money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all it really is. It's a tool because once you have X amount, all you're really doing is going back and buying the same stuff all over again. Like it's a new year model, so you go buy that new year model. It's you know Louis Vuitton got a spring collection. Okay, well now you go get the spring collection. It's the same stuff
Hmm.
over and over and over, and it can reach a point where it's for how I'm wired. It's not really fulfilling.
So,
So
real quick, just to
seeing
jump in. Are you saying that money doesn't like buy happiness and all these things that people want with money, like health, wealth?
no,
Like, tell us more.
no, it's a tool. It can certainly,
Mm,
there's a reason why those that have that are a little bit more financially secure have better healthcare, right? It's not a
mm,
coincidence, right? So that's certainly there, but for me, in terms of
yeah.
true fulfillment, right? No, I don't want to live under a bridge to help people. No, that's not what I'm suggesting for sure. But it's just once you reach a point, whereas you have a car, you have the this, you have the that, you have the this, you have the that. Like, okay, you got a black one. Do you need a red one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just the same. It's repeat. So it's
Mm,
really not fulfilling, in my
mm,
opinion. Um, and I've had, God has blessed me. I've had some really good, you know, runs as of late over the past couple of years. And you go like, well, okay, it's in there, but it's just numbers on a sheet of paper, if
yeah.
that makes sense. So it's not something for me that I would go out and just blow just to have material things. It's just I don't see I don't see the point in that. And then for me, it's there's nobody that I'm trying to impress. So like, what's the real driver to this?
Mm,
So I think once you get to a place where you understand that, um, for me, it just my focus went to, all right, how can I help, um, people? How can I help families? How can I be a better example to my nephews and those in my family? Or how can I be a better example to my employees? Or how can I be, um, a good mentor, someone that, people would reach out to, um, things of that nature. That's for me the focus, for sure.
that's huge. That's huge. And again, to the listeners, I hope y'all paying attention to what's said and what's not said. And what I'm hearing is you're a different person now than you was before, and financially, you're in a different space than possibly the majority of family, like our family specifically. You're just in a different level, and your mindset is very different. So I'm curious, two things: how is life on this side of things, where financial freedom and living your passion and helping others? One side, how did how are you living this part of your life, this version of you? And the second is, how did you overcome our lived experiences where, for us, the the three top job opportunities or three things that you do after, of success is related to graduating high school, getting a job, Arby's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, or working at a factory. Those are our top three. So not only did you did one of the top three, but you didn't stay. How did you overcome this mindset, this culture, or this family trend to do the things that you're doing, and now you're this person? What is that like for you?
Well, I'll start with the latter first. I think in terms of overcoming it, going back to what I led with is really just wanting more.
Mm,
I didn't want the options that was in front of me at that time. I didn't want to have doubts of my water bill.
Mm.
being paid. I didn't want to come home when the lights are off. I didn't want to move, you
Yeah.
know, over and over. I didn't want those things. So seeing that and then understanding, okay, all right, this is where I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that are around us, and then this is the profile of these people,
Mm.
right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not here to judge it. It's just okay. These are the profiles. So this person, they do this, but they don't have that. They don't
Yeah.
have this, but they do
Mm.
this. They do this. They do this. So whether it be,
Mm-hmm.
they drink and smoke, they do this, but they don't have their degree, and they don't have this, and they don't have that. So and seeing that that profile is very, very similar to everyone, not everyone, but a lot in terms of sphere of influence. Um, then for me, common sense is if you have this and you don't want this, then you need to go do the opposite of that, right? So
Mm.
I looked at, okay, they smoke and drink. I don't smoke and drink. They don't have their degree. I'm going to go get my degree. They don't have this. I need to go do that. So on and so forth. To whereas if I set up my profile, so let's say this is profile A, but if I'm doing the counter opposite to profile A, which is let's call it counter profile B, my results in theory should be different, right? Because
Mm.
my process is different. So the outcome and the results are going to be different, right? So
Yeah.
that was my um, theory,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I would say that it proved to be accurate. I would say,
Yeah.
and that if you will get the same results if you do follow the exact same process. You're going
Wow.
to get the exact same results.
Wow.
It's inevitable, right?
So,
But if you
so,
change that, go
uh-huh.
ahead. Mhm.
No, you're good. Continue.
Yeah. So just saying, if you change your process, right? If you change it, then you will get different results. Now, whether it be your desired outcome or not, that's for you to judge and evaluate, right? But you have to change it.
Yeah.
And for me, I wanted to change it.
Yeah.
And then to your first question in terms of how is it
Uh,
living?
before we
Go
can go
ahead.
to the second question, because this
Hmm.
is loaded. I'm talking about a spud with butter, sour cream, chives, bacon. This thing is loaded. I hope y'all
Put
getting
some
this.
chicken
I
on it.
told you.
Yeah.
I told y'all get your journals
Yeah.
because you just simplified what a lot of us struggle with. And what you're saying, like your exposure, you were exposed to a certain way of living, way of being that you didn't really want because you were exposed to a different way of living, different way of being. And it's like, I get to decide which one I want. So this connect the dots to the three parallels, who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. And you summarized it because what I share is all of us, we're going to be just like our parents, the complete opposite, or somewhere in the middle. What other choice do we have? And what you're sharing is your lived experience. You decided, I want to do the opposite. I see what people are doing. I'm choosing to do different, and it worked out in your favor.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. It did. And again, I want to preface everything I say with uh, the blessings of God for sure. Right. I don't want to come across as though me, and it's all something that I did and I made it possible. Absolutely not.
Mm,
God is to say good is an understatement for sure,
right.
and He's blessed me every day of my 46 years. So it's certainly due to Him for sure.
Love it. Love it. All right. Second, that next question you were diving into.
Yeah, I think it was how is it living on the side? It's good. It's good, and it's good. I think because, for lack of a better word, I'm grounded in a way,
Hmm.
and that like somebody can make $2 million a year and it's not enough. Like they would
Mm,
be eating themselves up, um, stressing out because they're chasing something
hmm.
and trying to get the positive impressions out there or what have you.
Yeah.
So it's just not enough. It's something else with them. And for me, it's with the money being not as important
Hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
I don't that and the material things. Like I mean, I want to be clean. I'm going to be clean, but I'm not going to. I don't. I'm not the guy to go and buy a new car every year or every time something comes out, I gotta have it, and I don't operate that way. So living on this side is good. I don't have the stress that I've had in years past. I don't have the concerns that I've had, in years past. It's life. I mean, everybody has their own, issues, concerns, and struggles. I just don't have the same issues, concerns, and struggles that I've had in years past. So it's certainly good. Certainly, certainly a blessing in that regard.
It's good to hear. Good stuff. Love it. Love it. So to the listeners, a lot of the things that we share, we complain, or we have a hard time about. Many of the students are, many of the listeners are students, master students, doc students. Um, they're managing second career, third career. A lot of people in different arenas. So I'm curious, for you, you you wear a lot of hats. Wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Father, husband, business owner, you proprietor, philanthropist, like you do so many different things, wear so many hats. How do you maintain balance and how do you practice self-care when you're doing all these things? Like if you could work 24 hours a day. If sleep wasn't a thing, you could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But you choose not to. I mean, part of it, life, but the other part is like
Yeah.
it seems like you have a really good balance on managing it all. How do you do that? And how would you be able to assist the listeners with their journey of balancing a lot of things at once?
Well, I would first say if you look at the connotation that comes along with the term balance, people think 50-50, like a scale. It's equally balanced. Um, if you are going into business for yourself and get to a place that you're doing two businesses for yourself or what have you, but if you're going into business for yourself, it won't be 50-50. So let's just understand that coming out the gate, right? It's that if you think balance is 50-50, weighted scale, everything is equal. I'm gonna spend 4 hours here, spend 4 hours there, then it's not gonna happen. So we gotta go in with reasonable expectations
Mm,
as to doing that. Now, if you are someone that want to have that kind of balance, then that's good, and there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle whatsoever. It's just that it won't happen while working for yourself. It's just
mm,
not going to happen. I would recommend that you find a career field, a job that would allow you to do that. It's just again, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I just don't want anyone to think that you can start your own business and you're gonna work for 8 hours and then go home at 5 o'clock. It just doesn't happen that way.
not
That's
not at all.
number one. Not at all. Now, for me, how I get it done, I wouldn't say balance, because again, when I hear balance, I'm thinking equal, right? And it's not.
Yeah.
How I get it done is I prioritize. Um, Certainly prioritize my tasks, and um, I won't say that I'm very organized to the point that it's OCD, but I am certainly organized for
Mm,
sure. Measure everything that I can in my businesses to make sure that we are going in the direction that we need to, and then I lean on my training, right? I lean
mm,
on my training, so undergrad, graduate school. But my training while I was in corporate America with oil and gas, my training in Six Sigma, my training in lean management. I lean on that, no pun intended. I lean on that to help me make sure I'm doing what I should be doing, and that you know uh, as far as in my businesses that we are improving in the areas that we need to. So I just work to simplify it, right? So
mm,
long story short, um, organized, measure, uh, and and dashboards. Create
mm.
dashboards. You got to have dashboards.
Y'all
If
heard
you
it.
have dashboards, you're good to go.
Y'all heard it here first. Write it down. He's giving you the secret sauce. Okay. Y'all on here. So for the entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs who want to start your own practice, start your own business, you're hearing it from someone who has done it not once, not twice, not three times, but even more. and it's managing. So this idea or concept about balance, it sounds like you've developed a new concept, and it's not really balance, it's about management. I also heard discipline. I also heard discipline. So please tell us
Very
about
disciplined.
discipline. Tell us about it.
Oh, very disciplined. So, again, I'm me working for myself. 7 days in the week. So a Saturday is a Tuesday to me. Like it doesn't hold the significance of like people say, oh, let's get ready for the weekend. Like it doesn't. That means absolutely nothing to me because there's certain tasks that I have to do every single day. And on certain days, there's additional tasks that have to be done, payroll, so on and so forth. So I don't have that day where you go, oh, okay, I just won't do X, Y, and Z. Well, no, you're going to do it because either you're going to miss payroll, you're going to miss something will be missed.
Yeah.
Now you can modify, you can simplify it on certain days. So instead of doing 10, you can maybe do 3 or what have you. But you have to be disciplined to your process. You have to be disciplined to your organization, and you have to take the necessary steps to make sure that things are running as they need to. It's a lot easier said than done for sure, but once you get into that routine,
Mm,
right? Once you get into it, it works out, and you'll see that you actually do have the time to
mm,
do it, right? You do have the time. I'm fortunate and blessed enough to have two businesses. They both are like full time, like running,
mhm,
and you can do it. You can certainly do it. You just have to be organized. You have to be disciplined. You
mm.
got to find a way to create a dashboard so you can quickly see the performance of your business or the key areas that you want to measure and track. You got to find a way to do that.
Yeah.
If you
That's
don't,
huge.
then you're not going to be able to. That's for sure.
That's huge. That's huge. So that's the business, that's the work, that's the external. How do you practice the internal work as far as self-care and taking care of you? If you're working 7 days a week, when do you get your time? How do you get your time? How do you spend your time when you're not in that mode?
Sure. So um, I rarely take full days off. I'll steal a morning or an afternoon. So for example, this past Friday I played golf. Right. I got up at 6:30. I was tee box at 7:48, 8 o'clock. And me and a buddy of mine got together and played. And then the second half of the day, I worked. Yesterday, you know, not quite the same. I didn't play golf, but I still had several hours in the morning. Then that afternoon, I did. This morning I'm doing this, but then this afternoon I'll be, back to work. So I'll go and do different things where I can. Uh,
Mhm,
every now and then, say if I'll usually get home 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. Um, I'm usually leaving home about 5:30, 6 a.m. This is 7 days a week, and every now and then I would say knock off a few hours early. So say 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Um, and whether I go, see a movie, whether I go stop in at a lounge, grab a sandwich, or what have you. Uh, I would stop and do those things. So long story short, I steal time uh, every couple of weeks. I don't take a half day every week for sure, but
yeah.
when I do, I steal time to make it happen.
Can dig it. I love it. Again,
You know.
pay attention. Pay attention. Gems are being dropped. I hope you're paying attention. So I'm curious because a lot of people, helping professionals and beyond, that transition from how they grew up, where they grew up, and they live life very differently than majority uh, of how you grew up, a lot of people deal with survivor's guilt. And that survivor's guilt is this idea that, I made it out. I made it out, but my family, my people still there. They still, I got people still dealing with no lights or not enough food, and I'm out
Yeah.
here full. So how do you manage that world of, we're very different than the way that we were brought up. We live differently because of how we were brought up. How do you rectify, reconcile that guilt? Do you feel it? What is it like for you?
Uh, this is probably gonna come off harsh, but I don't have none. I don't
Dude, you
have
gotta
that.
tell us about it.
I don't have it because I'm not. I know this is a family show, but I mean,
Oh, hold,
I
time out,
bust.
time out. Yeah, we family, but we can be real. So I need you to be honest. I need you to be
Oh
real.
no, I'm talking about as far as language. You know what I
No,
mean? I
you
don't
can
want to make it.
cuss, shit,
Good.
damn,
Okay.
all
Okay.
that. It's
Yeah.
cool.
So like, I don't. I don't feel that at all because I bust my ass to get here.
Mm,
Like nobody gave this to me.
hmm.
It was me doing all nighters at UWA, literally all nighters, studying all night, and then turn around and go into the final. It was me that took the AFOQT. That's the Air Force Officer Qualifying Test, which is by far the most difficult test I've ever taken. Running the PT test, doing all those things. So I don't have that guilt. I feel as though if I can do it, uh, anyone can.
Yeah,
Do I think I'm smart? Yeah, I think I'm smart, but I don't think I'm smarter than any other person. Do I think
yeah.
I work hard? Yeah, I work hard. I'm not the hardest working person. You know what I mean? So there, yeah, I just don't have that. I'll
Okay.
just say this because I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone. It's just I don't have that guilt because I bust my ass to get here. Nobody nobody did it for me. So now, if it was where it's like a lottery ticket, right, then I could see in that scenario. But I'm 46 and I've been working at this as far as back as I can remember. So it's not a coincidence that it happened for me. I don't feel as though it's a coincidence for sure. I feel blessed. Um, I wouldn't even. What do they say about luck? That's when opportunity meets preparation. That's for me what it was, for me. So it's certainly a blessing. But no, there's no guilt this way for sure.
Listen, I need
uh,
y'all to understand the difference between a salamander and a gator. This is a gator speaking. I hope y'all catching it. The difference between salamanders and gators. Typically, salamanders are perfectionists. Salamanders have a certain perception, and it's usually stuck at that perception. And salamanders also lack patience. There's 3 P's to salamander life. There's 4 C's to gator life. You're hearing from a gator in the flesh. Gators, number one, they're consistent. Yes, indeed. They are consistent. They are curious. They are creative and they celebrate all day before, during, and after. And you're hearing a gator speaking about his life. So if I'm a gator, why am I having guilt about living my best life? That's what I heard. Now, I don't know what y'all heard, but that's what I heard.
hey, that's what I said. So there it
Okay.
is.
Listen, I told y'all. I told y'all. So,
Yeah.
so I'm also curious because this is us allowing the listeners in, so to speak, into our world, into our life, and you and I have very similar backgrounds and upbringing, and I feel, and I would love to hear your thoughts. We were born into this hustler's mentality, always on the up and up, always legal, always legit. But that hustler mentality has always been there. But there's been a shift in the hustler mentality. Us working several jobs and on the field and everything else, UPS days, like that is still a part of us, but it seems to transition on this side. If you could, share with us your perspective about that shift, that change.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to hard working. We're not afraid to work hard. We're not afraid to do whatever it takes to do it. So lifting those rocks at the horse barn and all that stuff, or the UPS, and working 3 jobs, working on base, and then working at Subway, and then working at the the what was that, the juvenile
Yeah,
detention center, things of that nature. It's just I just think we were fortunate enough to have a very strong work ethic.
yeah,
Understand that we can't achieve it without working for it. And then you fast forward till today, where all right, we're not doing Subway anymore. We're not doing lifting stones and jumping out of UPS vans, right? But fundamentally, it's the same. We're not afraid of working.
yeah.
It
That's
don't
right.
it don't scare me to leave at 6 a.m. and come back at 9 and grab a bite to eat, and I'm back at my computer at 10:30. It don't. If that's what's needed, then that's what's needed. It's not. It's not a concern. It's not overly fatiguing. It's not something you just like dread doing. No, it's just it goes back to the work ethic and understanding that I mean, hell, it needs to be done. So we do it. Like we do it at a high level. So
That's
yeah,
huge.
for me, that's
That's
why I see the translation, the
that's
transfer.
huge. Mm. So I love how the three parallels just always find their way throughout this show. The who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. And I remember those days. And one day I remember specifically is when we first started UPS. So Greg and I were both would do summer or fall, holiday season. We'll do seasonal work to make enough money to get through the semester. And I remember we both was at UPS. We got the brown outfit on. He hops on a truck. I hop on a truck. Now, this was even during the time we weren't driving the truck, but we were working
Yeah,
with the people that was
jumpers.
driving.
Yeah,
Jumpers.
we're
So we
jumpers.
would
Yep.
we would deliver the package the whole night. And we would go off to our separate places with our crew and then come back and link up together and talk about the adventures that we had. I mean, I'd be sleep on a
Yeah,
truck. I'd be
for
going to
sure.
different houses. But we'll talk about it. And what's so interesting, that was 20 years, 15, 20 years ago. And here we are all these years later, where our recent excursion was in Vancouver. And we talking about experiences based off of the experiences that we are able to indulge in at this level. For
Yeah.
example, for the listeners, we was in Vancouver and we got, a Lambo and helicopter. We just out here living, like just living. Another story I'll share for another episode, but just to know, like we got it through the mud. We experienced that together on one side, and here we are, all these years later, experience something different. And who knows what's going to be after this? So those three parallels will always be a part of our lives from birth until till it's over. So I love it. I love it. So I got a few
Absolutely.
rapid fire questions,
Sure.
just to dive in a little bit more because
Yeah, let's do it.
as the listeners, I hope you getting what you need from this. If not, you got to look within you. Because to me, at any point in time where information is being shared, I don't care what it is, because for humans, we can't turn our ears off, but we may not be paying attention. Listen, I'm not
Mm.
here to preach, I'm here to teach. So, rapid fire question. Rapid fire questions. Number one, what would you say over the years, what have you learned about yourself?
Mm. Mm. I've learned about myself that over the years, just as I matured,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think this may be true for everyone, what you think is important is really
Mm.
not important. Like
Woo.
money to me, and you can tell me, money to me used to be everything. Everything. I'm talking about you would really think like this dude got some real character flaws. Like, what is going on here? It used to because I used to hold it in such a high regard
Mm,
for a plethora of reasons. You could say because we didn't have it growing up, just because things you want to see and do and couldn't do it, so on and so forth. But then as you get older, and as I've gotten older, God has continued to bless me. It's just like it's good. You want to be comfortable. You want to have some of the all your needs covered. You want to have some of the things that you want, but it's not everything.
mm.
It's really honestly and truly not everything. So for me, that's one thing that I've learned.
Yeah, yeah,
Number one,
yeah.
then number two, the importance of people,
Mhm.
because I'll share this. 2 years ago, it might have been 2 years now. I had an AFib event. That's when your heart, uh, uh, not I wouldn't say it skips, but my heart took off. So say if I have a resting heart rate of 70, 71. I had an AFib event. It shot up to 130. So my heart was racing as if I was just running a marathon, and it did it for 24 hours. Right.
Mm,
That could lead to a lot of things. You could have a stroke. I mean, there's a lot of things that could come out of that. And I'm sitting there, and I'm in hospital. My wife's at my bedside, and I have this money in the bank, but none of it can help me in my situation. You understand? None
mhm.
of it.
Yeah,
None of it. There's no check that I can write, give to the hospital that say, okay, make the AFib go away.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
And going through that, it opened my eyes were already open, but it really opened them up that much wider and
Yeah.
seeing and understanding what the money could do for you. One, how precious life is, obviously, but two, how money can it really can't do. I mean, the real when the rubber meets the road, it
Yeah.
can't do anything for you.
Wow.
It really can't. It can't bring your mama back. It can't bring your dad back. It won't bring your best friend back. It won't repair the relationship between someone.
Yeah.
It just won't. So I would say for me, those are some things that I've learned,
Yeah.
over the years in terms of the
Huge.
importance of people, and I won't dare say the insignificance of money for sure. That's very important, but it's not the end all be all.
Wow.
That's what
Wow.
I've learned.
That's huge. That's huge. And that's internal, which going to lead us to the next question. That's external. What have you learned about other people?
Man, people are. I'll say the good. I give some good and some bad.
Okay, we'll take it.
People, the bad. I would say people are extremely highly impressionable,
Hmm.
which you wouldn't think adults would be very very impressionable. But they are.
Oh, you
Look
gotta
at
you
look
gotta
at
give us more. You gotta give us more on that.
well look at TikTok. And
Um,
I don't want to get on my old man, get off my lawn speak, but look at it. Things
yeah,
go into a trend for a reason.
yeah,
There's just a word trend.
yeah,
People are picked up on it and they're following it. Now they're doing it.
yeah,
I don't know if you
yeah,
guys remember the Popeyes with the chicken sandwich a couple
yeah.
years ago.
Uh-huh.
When people are going in, buying them for $20 and selling them, and like just very, very impressionable. That's one
Wow.
thing I've learned about people. Some can be, not all. It's very unreliable.
Mm,
Very unreliable. Trust me, running a business and having it be in service oriented,
yeah.
you rely a lot on people and you learn a lot about people for sure. But the good the good thing I would say, everyone everyone I think everyone is good at their core fundamentally.
Yeah.
Now some may veer off the path whether it be trauma or something happens, but from my experiences, people are you know fundamentally at the core base good, and we all are going through our different things, and just being able to relate and understand that. I think that's something I've learned about people. How it's all similar,
Okay.
owning the business and being, a minority and having people work for you that different races and genders and things of that nature, and you talk to them, you get to know them, and you see that you're all the same.
Mm,
You're
that's
all the same.
powerful. That's
That
powerful.
you're all the same. Your mother may have diabetes, well, her mother has leukemia.
Yeah.
Their brother just got out of jail. Your uncle just got it. Like it's
Yeah.
all the same struggles, same challenges. So that's one thing I've certainly have learned. We're all the
That's
same.
huge. That's huge. Human beings doing human things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. All right. So what would you say is your proudest moment or accomplishment in life thus far?
Professionally or just
You decide.
anything? Mm, I mean, proudest moment is probably when I have my kids.
All right.
That'd be my proudest moment. Accomplishment when I made the decision February 2nd, 2019, to make the jump, to take the leap, and to start my own business.
Huge.
That was extremely nerve wracking at that time. I had a very good career in oil and gas, had a very strong career track for growth, was making good money, living in the suburbs, the whole thing. And it wasn't enough for me.
Ooh,
It wasn't
ooh,
fulfilling for me.
ooh.
And I wanted to take on the challenge.
Mm. Man, you said something. You said something. It wasn't enough for me. So
Mhm.
to the listeners, I need y'all to really hear the words that's being spoken today. because a lot of times we're not aware of what works and what doesn't work for us. So we'll stay in situations dealing with people, places, and things that don't serve us anymore, but we'll stay because of comfort or the lack of awareness. And what I heard, Greg shared was this awareness. This isn't enough. This doesn't work. It's cool. It's fine, but it's not enough. Whew. Some of y'all ain't hungry enough. Okay. I'm just going to be honest. Some of y'all are not hungry enough. You're not. And if this episode don't get you a little bit thirsty, a little bit hungry, you might have some more aware. You may have to dig a little bit deeper to enhance your awareness. Man, huge. All right, next piece. I'm curious, is there a word, phrase, memory, or moment that has stuck with you personally or professionally that you want to share with the listeners?
Oh, um, it is, but I mean, I don't want anyone to start. I want
Hey,
nobody
hey, hold on,
judging
time
my
out.
mom.
They gonna judge your mama anyway. So listen, you can share. We ain't got that much control over what people think, what they say, and what they judge on. So listen, share
They go judge your mom, and you're like,
it.
wow, if that ain't
Listen,
the
hold on,
truth.
time out, time out. I just want to talk about facts. You just mentioned about people. You just said this about people.
That's true.
So listen,
That's
don't
true.
try to
Hey,
control it. Don't try to control it. I just need you to be honest and share your truth about Big B. Let's go.
there it is. So there's two things that stick out to me. I was 13, 12, and I was riding in the back seat of my mom's car. Where I was talking about the things I want to do when I grow up, and I said I wanted to own multiple businesses, and I wanted to, drive a nice car, and I didn't want to worry about the bills and stuff like that, and that I wanted to, dress nice and look nice and just be. I didn't say filthy rich or anything along those lines, just financially secure, And, you're 12 or 13, you're talking. And I'll never forget, she said, um, you're aiming too high. I'll never forget that. She said, you're aiming too high and you should bring your expectations down.
Mm,
Never forget it.
wow.
I can tell you what I was wearing that day, wherever you were.
Wow.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
that do for you?
It, it, uh, it stoked the flame for sure in me. Because I already had a kind of a fire in my belly about the things I wanted to do. I was already different from my friends and the people I was hanging out with, right? I was the guy helping people with their homework and people cheating off my work in class, right? So it stoked the flame in me big time. Like, and it just went from, I'm gonna do it to, yeah, I have to show you.
Yeah.
I have to show you. And like I said, as Dr. Brand shared, like you're gonna judge my mom anyway, right? But she was very supportive, good mother, so on and so forth. She was just born in a different era,
That's real.
In her
That's
era,
real.
black people didn't do those things, so
That's
it was
real.
not achievable
Yeah.
in her eyes. And for me, I just believed that it was. So that's one thing that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And then last was when I made the decision to get out of corporate America. This was February 2019, and I had a team meeting. I was a project manager at this time. Well, no, I was senior operation manager at this time, and we had a project meeting. We were talking about something at the plant here in Houston, and we had meetings every day. And on this particular day, I told the team I had something I wanted to share with them, and I told them I made the decision to resign, and that next Friday is going to be my last day, or what have you, and that I was going to go and do my own business. And we're going around the table. People are sharing, kind words and things about me, saying they're going to miss me, and so on and so forth. And then I will give his name. I'll just give his first name. First name is James. I won't say his last name. Got to him. He said, well, "I wish you the best of luck," so on and so forth. And he said, but the way he said it, it was a little stale.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he said, I'll never forget it. He said, well, maybe you should reconsider this because, Greg, you got all this stuff going for you. You know, you're going to be the plant manager here, blah, 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 right? All this stuff. And, um, he started talking about how, it's comfortable where I was in terms of corporate America, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how it's cold, dark, and lonely out there.
Mm.
And I just listened to him, and I just listen because I allow people to just talk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it. You've got to, get it off. I don't go forward, right? But I stopped him when he said this. He said, um, you know, it's he was describing all these things. He said, "Well, I know it's going to be. I know it's going to be scary out there."
Mm. Mm.
And I stopped him. No, he said fear. He
Yeah.
said you should fear. That's what he's saying because he was telling me about why I should stay. And he
Yeah.
said, "Well, you should fear your business not doing well." And I
Mm.
stopped him
Yeah.
like mid sentence after when he said the word fear. I stopped him.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, "Fear? I don't fear anything. I have nothing to fear." I said, "God has blessed me at the time I was 40 years old." I said, "God has blessed me every day of my life for 40 years. And now that I decide to go and get a different name at the bottom of a paycheck, now I should fear." So now
Mm.
he's not going to provide for me and protect me, all because I changed my job, all because I go and not work for him, but work for me. I said, "No, I don't fear anything. No."
Woo. Woo.
And I just stopped him, and it got very awkward in a conference room. It was a stunned silence, but I needed him to know, and the team there, that yeah, no, there's no fear here at all. That's for sure, because there's nothing to fear.
Mm.
There's people that go and start their own businesses all the time. Why can't I do it?
Yeah.
That's my whole mindset.
Yeah.
There's people
Oh,
that go and do this. Why can't I do
yeah.
it?
Oh
Right?
man.
That's my mind. That's the mentality that I have. And when you say the F word, fear, it's just other people's weakness that they're working to project onto me, and I don't accept that. Again,
Ooh, let's go.
going back to what I led with, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
put myself second to anyone. So
Come on.
I mean, nah, dude, he had to know that.
Come on. Listen,
He had
this
to
is
know that.
Gator Talk. This is Gator Talk today. Listen, this is straight Gator Talk. So I got a different F word for James, but we're gonna leave that
Mm,
where it's at. So please know,
okay then.
please know, please know. I got a different F word. It ain't got nothing to do with fear for James. But I wanted
I
to
got one
share.
for you too, but go ahead.
Okay. So listeners, please know you at least got a James in your life. Okay. A
Mm,
James. And what I consider a James is a hater. Understand we all have, no, I can't say we all. Some of us have haters because everybody don't have a hater because hater hates what you're doing. And a lot of us ain't doing nothing. But we ain't got to talk about that. So what I
now we
do
come
want
back
to
to that.
talk about
Yeah.
is the people who are being hated on. Hashtag James. When people hate on you, understand there's only two reasons that people hate. They want to be who you are, or they want something you have. What you shared shook James. It shook him because he started to look at himself and all his stuff. He gave it to you. And what I love about what you shared is knowing yourself well enough to know that ain't mine, James. That ain't none of mine. And let
No,
me
sir.
let me let you know what is mine. Come on. Come on, we talking to God. I'm
That's it.
connected. You provided facts and evidence that did not support James' belief related to fear, which wasn't yours. That's huge. That's huge. So I want y'all all to understand you got a James and you got a mama because he talked about both. So talked about both. So we
It need
have
to be
people
said.
in our lives. And one thing I really want you all to pay attention to is not only what Greg shared, but what he shared behind the scenes. And one of the really biggest moments, because I'm not going to talk bad about your mama because it's my grandmother. So, but one of the things that you brought up that for the listeners, I think is really important for you to consider is facts versus feelings. Let's talk about it for a moment. You shared something that your mother said that brought upon feelings. And those feelings could have made I'm sorry, those feelings actually made you, but those feelings could have broke you. The difference is you connected dots to facts, which allowed those feelings to make you. The facts were, my grandmother, your mother, was born in a different stage and time in her life where that was her reality, and she shared
Hmm.
her reality with you. You didn't
Hmm.
take her reality and make it your reality. You created your own. And I'm sure you're doing the
Hmm.
same thing with your kids, giving them the things that they need that you didn't get, or vice versa. So, for the listeners, please know you have to delineate the difference between what are the facts and what are the feelings. So, your feelings can be hurt. Your feelings can be so many different things, but what are the facts? Sometimes your feelings are larger, bigger, scarier than the actual facts. And one thing that I hope you're hearing related to this Gator speaking is he has facts and evidence behind the feelings. So that guilt, why am I guilty based off of the facts? I just need y'all to see the parallels. Three parallels, they're going to keep coming up. Why am I guilty over what I worked hard to go get? I went and got it. You could do it too, but you chose not to. Why am I guilty? I just want y'all to see the facts. Couple more questions and we're going to get you out of here because you're a busy man. You got a lot of things to do. So, an interesting fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Mm. Interesting fact about me that most people do not know. Hmm. That is a that is a really, really good question. Well, it's funny when I tell people the size of my family,
Mhm.
they are blown away by it. Absolutely blown away. So I have six sisters and three brothers, and I'm the baby. And in addition to that, within our family, there's no strife or this group, these little factions,
Yeah.
these little different governing bodies. They're just doing, we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's an interesting fact about me that not a lot of people know. I am from a huge, huge family. I have nephews that were about the same age, several that fall into that category. I got a niece that's older than me. it's it's a lot.
It's a
It's
real
certainly a
thing.
lot. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Shout out to the family. Shout out to all the family that's listening right now. Love y'all. Much love. We are here. We are ready. So couple more and we're gonna get out of here. So I'm
Hmm.
curious if you could use one word to describe three versions of yourself, how would you describe who you were, who you are becoming? One word for each
Mm.
version.
Each one of who I was. Um, that's a good one. Who I was, I would say dreamer,
Mhm.
a real dreamer,
Mhm.
a real dreamer. And that like take these things where there's what I was dreaming about. It wasn't in my sphere of influence. I didn't see it, right? But I seen it when I daydreamed.
Yeah.
I seen it when I'm sitting on the porch. I seen it when I fell asleep at night. I would say dreamer.
Yeah.
Uh, who I was, like at that second stage,
Okay.
I'm a grinder,
Okay.
a grinder,
Okay.
a
All right.
grinder, and I'm gonna take grinder from time period of like college. Once I graduated from college, up through 2022, so 20 years. I graduated college in '02, so from '02 to 2022, absolute grinder. I had my goals, I had my objectives, and I kept those in front of me, and I worked towards them daily. So grinder. I worked whatever hours I needed to work to get it done. I worked, you know, I wouldn't say doubles because I was corporate and all that good stuff, but traveling the world, anything that was needed to get it done in terms of grinding, I did that. And where I am now, I want to be still grinding,
Mhm.
but I want to be more so of more strategic, more
Mhm.
of a visionary to a certain extent. in terms of only just related to my business and my business growth, right? I want to grow my business where I am and continue to go down that path.
Love it. Love it. All right. Last piece is you get an opportunity to give something to the listener. So we give on this show, we give life work and not homework. Homework is something you do, you take home, you turn it in, you'll never remember it again. Life work is what you do that will change your life. So if you have some life work for the audience, anything that you want to share, something they could use to help them change their lives, what would it be?
I would say take your goals, take your dreams, like those thoughts that you have, develop them into to goals. And don't worry about tangible, not tangible, I can't obtain, I can't, whatever that is. Put them down into goals, right? Then from there, take those goals and develop a real action plan. Make them actionable, right? I would say do that. And then once you have that, take that action plan and put milestones and dates on them. Now, mind you, those milestones and dates is only set by you, no one else.
Mm,
So don't say, 3 months when it should be 1 month, right? Or put 1 month and end up taking you six. I mean, just make them real goals because no one else knows your schedule constraints that you have, the other things that you want to accomplish, so on and so forth. I would take your goals again, develop a real action plan. In that action plan, put definitive dates there. That's not open ended, right? So
yeah.
we want an action plan, not a fairy tale, real action plan
Yeah.
where it's definitive with milestones. And then give that action plan to someone in your circle, a
Mm,
supporter,
mm.
a supporter that's in your circle, right? And then from there, I would say schedule time with that person, once a quarter or what have you. And it's just a way to keep you on track with what you are doing,
Yeah.
right? It's a way to be held to account for the things that you said that you were going to accomplish. Now, the person you're giving it to, I mean, what can they actually do to you, right? It's nothing. The point is that you're going to have to sit down and answer to
Yeah.
the action plan.
Yeah.
Are you doing the things that you said that you were going to do? I would say do that. I would say do that. And then last, be a doer and not a talker.
Ooh, ooh, keep
Do.
going. Come on, drop it.
Yeah,
Let's
I would
go.
say that. I would say that do and don't talk. That
Do
would
and
be
don't
my
talk.
my biggest thing because anyone can talk. It's easy. It costs nothing. There's no hard work associated with it. There's no grind. There's no work ethic. There's no conference to attend. There's no late night studying. You're just talking. But when you get to the point where you actually have to do it,
Mm.
in my very humble opinion, that's what separates the men from the boys. So
Ooh.
I would say be a doer, not a talker, and keep your goals in front of you.
And
Keep them
there it
in
is.
front of you. Work towards them.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all just get hit in the head with a honey bun. So thank you. What what Craig just mentioned was talking about, and I'm summarizing, let's take action. Take action. Do. Don't just talk. Do. Take action. The second, Greg was talking about measurable goals. Many of us are familiar with SMART goals. So what he's talking about is SMART goals for your life: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time specific.
Time
He's giving
specific.
he's giving you the
Absolutely.
blueprint. He's doing it. This is not somebody that's talking about it. This is someone who lives it, who happens to be my family. So I know it's real because I'm only putting real on the show. So thank you for dropping all these gems, all this love, just giving of yourself to the listeners. And I expect that all of you listening, you got something. If you didn't get something, that's on you. So if people want to get in touch with you, people want to reach out to you, connect with you, take you out for coffee, buy you a drink, whatever, how can they get in contact with you?
I'd say I'll use my personal email address. That's fine. So snowman9702 at yahoo.com. So snowman, SNOWMAN 9702 at yahoo.com. Again, that's my personal email address. If I could help someone from a mentor standpoint, that's fine. I don't have a separate business for counseling and things of that nature. This is just, my businesses are far outside that realm. But as I shared, I'm really big on people. So if there's something I can do to be of assistance, that I can help someone, just to avoid, the heartaches and whatnot that I've been through. If I can help you in that regard, I surely will.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the show. I feel as though we've experienced a lot of things together, and this is our first podcast together, first of many
It is.
together. And this is part of our life. We've, grew up together, known you my whole life, been my big brother. I appreciate you for who you are. I appreciate you for who you are not. I
Mm,
appreciate all the things that you do and all the things that you say. So I get this all day, every day, audience. And now you get a piece for today, for an hour. So take that piece and do something with it. Do not leave it in your ears. Do not leave it on your heart. This information is life changing. Share it. Share the episode. Share the information. Share the knowledge, because you never know how you can change by doing some of the small things. This show, the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, Dr. Jason Branch, is about us going from who we were, embracing who we actually are, and making room for who we're trying to become. Thank you so much, Greg, for being on the show. I love you, brother. You are amazing.
love you
You
too,
have
man.
always been a mentor and encourager. You living your best life, and you look good doing it. So much love. Good night, everyone. Good morning, good day, whatever it is. Be great. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Feeling overwhelmed? Searching for someone who truly gets it? At J. Branch and Associates, we provide mental health support for BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and others facing unique challenges. We understand the weight of generational trauma, the struggles of identity, and the pressures of being a part of an underestimated and overlooked group. At J. Branch and Associates, therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all. We create a safe, culturally aware space where you can feel seen, heard, and understood. Finding a therapist who truly fits you matters, and that's exactly what we're here for. Our team of highly trained licensed therapists bring compassion, empathy, and real-world experience to help you on your journey to healing and growth. We're committed to helping you become the best version of yourself. Ready to take the next step? Visit us at www.drjbranch.com for more information, or call or text 404-436-2540 to schedule your free 15-minute consultation. You can also book your first session today. Thank you for choosing J. Branch and Associates, therapists of color providing exceptional care to BIPOC communities, quality service, exceptional care from authentic professionals.